So, we'll get started here. Thanks for coming. Let's start with COVID. We were all excited about talking about COVID. The numbers are really low right now. 327 cases in all of Region 8, so that's a big area. They didn't even do a breakdown. Normally they tell us how many's in Lamar County. They didn't even do a breakdown this time. So I think last time they did a breakdown was like 2 months ago, and it was 42 in Lamar County. So probably a lot less than that. And then there are 533 cases on the 17th. But
Also at the hospital, we have no cases.
no cases in the hospital.
Mhm.
Well, that's good news too.
That was earlier this morning, so.
Oh, that's awesome. So still no cases there. So maybe we're good. What about flu? Have you seen
Flu.
a lot of flu?
Of course.
Yeah.
It kind of just got overlooked, I think,
Yeah.
during COVID. It was there, but nobody
People weren't
paid
talking
attention.
about it.
No.
I don't think I had one student with the flu last flu season.
Me
This
neither.
is not one. Now I have a ton. Yeah. And I know it was there.
Yes.
Okay, so we had the COVID vaccine clinic last, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And we had 6 people come, but a lot of people have already got their flu. If they're going to get their COVID vaccines, they've already gotten them pretty much. So we have quite a few who have gotten them. Okay, so the big project that we started, the very first meeting, is finally come to fruition. I wanted to just congratulate y'all. We got all the policy, the system got it all policy approved and all that, and the legal writers got it back to us. We have posted, as of today, we posted a letter to the website under the parent info tab that informs the parents that we have EpiPens in our district now. And then moving forward, it will be put into the student handbook for each year. So at the elementary schools, I know junior high and high school, I've already talked to both of their handbook writers, but maybe we need to, just need to, whoever writes your handbook, I don't know, just need to mention it to them that needs to be added to the handbook. But just so that we have to inform the parents that it's there, which is a great thing. But we've got our EpiPens. This is what it looks like. They hang on the wall. It's got Velcro so that you can just pull it off the wall when you need it. I know here at the junior high and high school I had trainings on Monday. So most of the staff at the junior high and high school have already been trained on where it is. And we all had the Edgy Hero classes, so all of the full-time staff has been trained on EpiPens in general. But I did like a quick run-through of how that looks now with the signed EpiPens. I did like a 5-minute or about 10 minutes and just went through it and did like a refresher course, and I had a list of those. And they signed a paper saying that they felt competent in giving EpiPen if they needed to. But anyways, it hangs on the wall. I'm just going to show y'all just so y'all can see it. It's labeled. The child ones are labeled 33 to 66 pounds this side, and then anyone over 66 pounds on this side. This is just during school hours we'll use this. And then that's what our policy says. And then here's a pin in here, so if it gets used, you write the time on the vial when it gets used so that they can just hand that vial to the EMS workers when they get there. Instructions on how to do it. And then in back here I have our policy. It's laminated, that's laminated as our policy that we approved, that we all approved in the Shac meeting. And then it's signed by a doctor. And then also our a sheet that has all the stuff that if we use the EpiPen at school, all the stuff that the state wants to know, like all the details. So I have that in here so that, and I think the elementary school teachers do too, school nurses do too. And then that way, if the EpiPen gets used and the kid's being taken care of and EMS has been called and the school nurse is right there, that someone can just grab this and start writing down information so that we don't have to go back and collect it later and figure out, what time was that, or who was there, or why did they use it, or what started all this. Somebody's already started writing it down. So that, I thought it would be kind of helpful to have that in here. Do y'all have yours in your offices? Is that where you're keeping yours? Your offices stay unlocked all day during school hours. Mine doesn't because I'm in and out. So we're put the high school one in the high school administrative, the office in the hallway right beside Mr. Oates' room. Right above the fire extinguisher is where this is located in the high school. And then in the junior high, I talked to the junior high PE teachers and stuff. They're in there, I mean, they're in there when kids are in there. So technically this doesn't have to be supervised. I mean, like, of course you don't want kids to mess with it. But like, have you ever been, I've been in elementary school, the first question I asked, why is that epinephrine just sitting in the hallway right there? Like, kids don't mess with it, they know not to mess with it, you know, or whatever. So anyways, but this is right by the AED in the junior high at the gym. So, any questions on that? Yes.
I guess I missed that meeting where you guys did all that. So, I mean, I've been trained on EpiPens in the past, kids who have them prescriptions. So if we think a child's having an allergic reaction, let's say Miss Johnson's gone, she would know if it was happening for real. But if she's gone and we think that we can give it to them and it won't hurt them if they're really not? Or?
Yeah, well, the nurses of each campus will get a list together of people that our district says they can administer this. Every full-time employee, when they do the EduHero, has to do the EpiPen class because...
I mean, I've done all that. I'm just saying, what kids can have it? I know...
any kid.
Okay. If
So
we think they're having an allergic reaction.
yes.
Okay.
So if it's an emergency...
And severe
Severe.
Yeah.
anaphylaxis.
Yes, if it's severe, so it's like... I mean, if it's just a little rash or something, we can treat it with Benadryl. Let's try that first. But if it's an emergency, you'll know. If they're having the wheezing, their respiratory system is being messed with, facial swelling, lips turning blue, coughing, complete a severe shortness of breath, all those are EpiPen worthy.
So those are for everybody, not a child that's diagnosed with the allergic.
Because 25% of first-time anaphylactic reactions happen at school. So that's what this is for.
Okay.
So if we have like a first time, something we don't know, like we don't know a kid is allergic to a bee sting or and they get stung by a bee and then all of a sudden we're in a mess. Like, and with being out in a deport, there's not a whole lot of time. I mean, an EMS is going to be a while, or first responders are going to be a while.
I just want to make sure we could use it on any kid.
Yes, yeah, it's for any kid. Now, that's a good question, because if a kid has an EpiPen, we need to know, like we talked about in the junior high and in high school in our meeting, which kids had EpiPens.
If they have one, use theirs.
Yes, if they have one, use theirs, and where they're at. And those kids know where their EpiPens are, and I can be at either campus, I mean, I have my cell phone on me 24/7, I can be at either one in a minute or two. So, if you know the kid has EpiPen, get their EpiPen. But this is for like people who we don't know.
Okay.
So that's a good question. And then obviously it says too, if you're needing to use the EpiPen, send someone after the AED to worst case scenario.
And call 911.
And call 911. So treat the kid, call 911, and then if the nurse is not there, find the nurse and get them there. But always treat the kid first. So that's the big push with this is don't wait for the nurse to give this. If you feel like a kid, it's an emergency and they're having trouble breathing, go ahead and administer this. So, and then, like I said, all full-time staff has the EpiPen training, right? With EduHero and EpiPen.
Well, the title of that one is called Treating Students with Allergy and whatever.
Anaphylaxis.
Anaphylaxis, And so is that sufficient?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought it was, I mean, I was
Yeah.
just thinking, it's already in there. So
It covers the
next
EpiPen.
year. Okay.
And then she follows that with hands-on
Yes.
training of the
For the
EpiPen.
ones that
Mhm.
would really.
So I just got all of the full-time staff together. We use the trainers over here. We have they have trainers too. There's trainers. And I just passed these around and we went over it. Flip the top. Whoops. that was for dramatic effect. Flip the top and then swing on the outside of the leg and push. You gotta push hard. You can't just barely tap it. But hold on, let me do that again. So
And it can go through jeans or whatever.
yes. Yes, it goes through, don't worry about exposing the leg. So push hard where it clicks and then hold it for 10 seconds, that's a biggie. Don't just in and out. You gotta give it time for the medicine to go in. Wait 10 seconds, according to our policy, wait 10 seconds. Then pull it out and then it covers the needle to where
It's not sharp.
it's not sharp anymore. Write the time on there with the Sharpie, hand it to EMS. Okay? Any other questions on that? But I was excited that we got, that's our first big thing that we got going, so that's exciting. So Stacy started the ball rolling on that, so good idea, we got it going. So that's exciting. Okay. So we already showed. See, you can see how it's just on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you ready, Ms. Pickle? We last meeting we did, went over the curriculum. Did anybody get a chance to look over that? Well, she kind of talked about it too. I mean, she gave us the tables and stuff. So does anybody have any questions that now that they got a chance to go over it for Ms. Pickle? Does anybody have any concerns, questions? I think you pretty much answered my personal question. It doesn't go into any of this. It stays right with what we've been teaching. There's no really big
Right.
deviations in gender and all of that.
We're not purchasing that supplemental, which has those other topics.
Right. About gender and sexuality, like those preferences.
She kind of keeps it to the medical.
Okay, it sticks
and
right with medical.
terminology and.
Okay. Does anybody have any concerns about this curriculum?
What grade level is this?
6th and 8th. The 6th get the lower level one, so it's more for like teens.
But it sticks pretty much with anatomy
Yes,
and
basic reproduction.
basic reproduction. Does it go
How
into
the
the
systems work, I mean, that kind
What's the
Safe
name
for-
of it?
of thing. It's McGraw-Hill.
Just
It's,
when I have to do the
it's-
next. On the
Lake
one.
Code Health. This is it, but.
So, I also have these from last time.
So it's just basically copying.
Lake Code Health.
These were handed out from last week.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And it has the topics. This same thing is this right here, but we're not doing that. Not that. So there are, some of these topics are covered in the regular book, but some of these topics are not. Okay. Like, issues one, yeah. They do a little bit of this, because they talk about viruses and how they can be transmitted.
But right here,
How we
issues with sexual.
yeah, that's good. No.
And Ms. Pickle, we're gonna order the waiver
Oh,
for.
didn't see you back there, I'm sorry.
uh,
Yes, and elementary is waived. The main thing we have to do for the board is approve the film that you'll show, that we'll do in the May board meeting.
Oh, okay, okay,
They said that needed to be approved.
okay, for the puberty, for the fifth grade,
Yes.
but our waiver's good to go. We'll
Oh,
have that
yes.
when school starts
100%.
next year.
And both of these meet 100%, it's just that McGraw-Hill got tired of dealing with the State Board of Education with all the drama that went on with all the changes they were expecting. And so, like, there were probably 5 or 6 companies for the upper level that did not choose to be considered. Only Goodhart Wilcox did, and their program is not very.
Yeah, well, but the waiver is approved by TEA and it's.
Actually, they did not approve any elementary.
Oh, okay.
Even though it covers 100%, they just chose not to adopt anything.
Oh.
I told them in the last meeting, there was this article about all the drama that went on during the process.
Was it just
and-
because they changed all the teaks and all that kind of
Well,
stuff?
what they, mainly, they started arguing over wording and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And they did say, though, that Quaver, it received preliminary approval, and Quaver did revise it, but it's like when it came back out, they really only addressed the secondary one, like to say that this is formally adopted. It kind of became a real big mess.
Okay.
The state board had 2 additional meetings just on the health adoption.
Is this
because it
since
was
our
such a-
day that we went to Region 8 to preview it all?
It was going on before that.
Oh, okay.
And so, but they're, like, on each side, there's a couple of programs that are 100% text aligned.
Mhm.
Quaver is, McGraw-Hill is, there are some others. So all the materials are gonna be, they're gonna cover everything that needs to be covered, and they're solid materials. It's just, there was just a big debacle with the adoption process.
And we can still get them paid for, right?
Yes, we
Okay.
can we'll get them, and then we can get them paid for through the state system, even if it's a different adoption, because it's proven that it has 100% of the text covered.
Okay, good. Well, I really like that one, so I'm glad that
I
we're,
think your kids they will love
they're gonna
it.
like it a lot.
The songs and the movement and all that, it's really engaging.
Yeah.
Okay, so for our next board meeting, do y'all want to vote to present this to the board for approval, this curriculum that she presented to us? Anybody want a motion to, I don't have a voting. Okay. Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. All right. So, any opposed? Okay, so it's unanimous, we vote to approve this curriculum. So that will go to the board, and then the puberty talk that the elementary school nurses do for the girls, that will go to the board for approval as well. Okay. And their main meeting. All right, so next, our next kind of thing, we've been talking a lot about mental health in our Shac meetings. Last meeting, we had them from the state to talk to us about mental health and the importance of it. We have also talked about the Stop It program. I got more information in your in the packet that I gave you. I was gonna put slides in there, but it's just easier to look at it in the pamphlets from my perspective. In my opinion, I mean. So there's the app, there's a picture of the app, and then you can just open the camera app on your phone and scan the little QR code, and you can pull it up and you can look at it for yourself. Sorry. I did all that, and I zoomed with a representative of this program and asked them a bunch of questions, then I emailed them and asked them more questions. This is the cost that he gave us for our district. Now, to do this, which was the big thing for me, because another thing I'm kind of held up on, he said they won't know until January if we're going to be able to get funding, if Stop It Solutions is gonna get funding or not. If they get funding, the way it was explained to me, they will pass that funding on to the schools. He said, they get $10,000 for our school system. Well, it costs us $5,700. They would just prorate that and do it for the next year, put it towards the next year, whatever. But it's not a definite, it's not a guarantee. So we would have to sign a contract saying that we would pay that if we didn't get funded. So that sounds kind of, it's hard to make a decision based on that. You know what I mean? Like, you may get funded, you may not. That was my biggest hang up on all this. Yes, I think it's an awesome program. We talked about it in here in the meeting. Miss Julie, she'll be Miss Julie forever for me, because she's Miss Julie, my kids. Anyways, she explained it, or we went over it and everything. It's not just for reporting bullying. It goes through, like, you can send out basically messages to the kids that will go straight to their app saying, hey, the bathroom got flooded this morning. If you have any information on that, you can anonymously report it and let us know, so we know who did it or whatever. Also, like, just yesterday, I had a kid in here who was like, I need a mental health break, I'm about to lose it. I mean, they didn't say it in those words, but that's what I heard. I mean, that was the bottom line. They stayed in here for an hour. She needs somebody to talk, just to listen, so it's a big need. And then we had another kid who wouldn't tell me, she sat outside and she wouldn't tell me who was saying these awful things to her, because she didn't want the repercussions of it getting back to them, and I was like, why, I won't tell them, but how do you do that when, how else would they know, you know, I don't know. It was just hard. So, this will kind of give them a safeguard, a safe space to say, hey, this is happening, or hey, I saw this happening. It needs to be addressed or whatever. But that was just yesterday, I had those two different situations. So I do think something like this could be helpful. I'd like to hear maybe some input from not kids, our student representatives. This is, I don't think y'all were y'all when we talked about the Stop It Solutions? Yeah. What are your thoughts on it? Like, do you think it's something that people would want or use, or?
I think a bunch of kids will definitely use it, just because they don't like to open up to other kids, because some kids will bully them for what they're saying to them and stuff like that.
So do you think it would be helpful if you knew that it was going to someone that could address the problem without maybe not knowing exactly where the information came from?
Yes.
Currently we do have that form that we showed last time, which I can pull up again, but it's anonymous bullying form. Were y'all aware of that before we talked about it? Did y'all know where that was before? Did you know about it? No. That's kind of why we do need to do something. Either promote that we have an online bullying form,
It's in
get the
their
word out.
handbook. It tells about it in their handbook.
In their handbook. Yeah.
Well, this thing would be the same way if we don't promote it to the kids. I mean, if we promote what we already have that's free to the kids, then we save $5,700 a
Right.
year. I mean, and just, you know, then it's just anything that you don't tell them about, they're not gonna know, so we just need to make sure and.
Well,
Just
they
putting it in the handbooks, not, I
no.
mean, they don't look
They're not
at
gonna
it.
read that.
Well, and this is another thing too, they have a promotional representative that comes out and does like a big push, hangs up posters, does like, they would even do like, assemblies or something, like have presented assemblies and say, hey, this is the program we're gonna use here at the school. Like they have someone who will push it and advertise it for us, like,
I mean, like, I'm just, immediately, what can we do? I don't know about right now, because there aren't any parent-teacher mass meetings going on, but like at the beginning of the year, when we have, meet the teacher night or whatever, we send information home with all the kids that night, maybe, and there's a lot of things that have to be signed and returned to school, and maybe that could be something included in there. And I don't know about every grade level, but the incoming sixth graders, don't they have a meeting with the parents about the Chromebooks and stuff like that? Maybe they could address it with the parents and the teachers, students then. I know that Brad usually has like an assembly with all the kids the first day of school, and maybe he could talk to them about that. I don't know what the high school does. Do they do anything like that? First day of school?
Yeah, we bring them all into the gym
Uh-huh.
and hit the high points, and then we're also talking with the upcoming freshmen this coming Monday night or afternoon.
Mhm.
I agree, I think that, maybe we can use that as a resource, but to promote our own, what we have. Because I think that's the problem, it's just nobody knows about it.
What about using, they're always looking for projects too for the beta kids. What about having maybe beta kids make posters
Yeah.
and put up for the kids to be able to see what's out there?
yeah. And there's another thing too, there's another free thing I saw. Okay, so on the app, it has this minute, hold on, it's on this page. On the app, you can see where it says submit a tip, and then underneath it says crisis text line. that is a direct link, and this is a national, it connects you to a counselor, a certified, or licensed counselor. You just text 741-741, and that's, anybody can use that, so maybe we could promote that too. If they see that it's an emergency, that counselor will contact the authorities. If they see somebody's gonna hurt themselves or hurt someone else, they will call,
And that's free.
and that's free. So that's something else that we can very easily promote, that's free, that's available.
So that would be kind of a suicide prevention type thing, or suicide.
Really, honestly, I think it would be like that girl that I was in here, if she would have something that she could just text, say, hey, I'm about to, I need to cool off. They push, they do this big, from hot to cold. They want you to go from hot to cold. So, I just thought that was, I mean, not just for, it would work for suicide, for sure, but if you, just need to vent or just, need someone to listen to you. How many times have you texted somebody and say, okay, just thanks for listening to me, just need to vent for a minute. Just another way that they can process. And then also, next week, Region 8 is hosting a mental health summit, and I signed up to go. I don't have a ton of information on it. I'm kind of curious to see what it is. But they said they're gonna have door prizes where they're gonna be handing out up to $2,500 vouchers for some of these programs. So I was gonna maybe go to that, see what might work for us, especially if I can get a free voucher for it. Maybe we could try it, without putting out any money. So that's why I was gonna go. I'm gonna go to that next week. It's the 26th, I think, next Tuesday. So we could do that. And so I guess I need to know from y'all, what kind of things do you think we would need out of a program? What are things that would be like, well, we don't necessarily need it. The thing about the Stop It that I wish it, we had some more set things on funding, but that I liked, you could track, say I submit a tip, and I say, I don't know, Billy has been bullying me, I feel like I can't take it anymore, blah, blah, blah. You can type in Billy's name as the offender or whatever, and then go in there and research Billy's name and say, oh, he's done this and this and this, or, this kid, this is what's happening over here, and you pull up just a report of everything, every time that he's had a report submitted for him. Or same thing with the victim, you could say, this person has been victimized by this person, this person, this person, this person. You search their name real quick and figure it out. I mean, it has those kind of tracking things. I thought that was really cool and would be helpful, I would think. I don't know. Or you could say Billy has reported this 17 times and there's not been any substantial, I can't find out where there's any validity to this too. You can pull that up and say, he just likes to report. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts on things that we would possibly, that could help us? I mean, as we're,
I think the after hours thing is really good, because when kids are at home, at night, in the bedroom, on social media, in their feelings, that is when a lot of times they get down, they get in their feelings. And when they get in a really bad spot, and knowing that there's somewhere for them to reach out, I think that's a good thing.
and you can screenshot, that's another thing, when you report, you can screenshot like a social media post or whatever, and submit that with your tip. Say like, I saw this on Facebook, they were bullying me on Facebook, this is what was sent. And then it'll ask you, it'll say, is this sexually explicit? And if you say yes, then they put a cover on it, and only authorities see it. So, I mean, I like that too, like that you could just, like you said, after hours is really cool. And after hours people, they screen it. And if they think that something needs to be done now, they contact the authorities. And it's not, and then the next morning, and then whoever it goes to, it doesn't have to go to the principal. I mean, it can go, whoever we set as the person for each campus. It goes to that person. They can send it to whoever. like whoever they deem as administrator, so that they see like, oh, there's a report of a hygiene issue. They can send that to me, and I could close it out. I could resolve it. It's not the same person resolving everything. Or if they say, this is probably a Ms. Sykes issue, I'll send it to Ms. Sykes, she closes it out. She resolves it and closes it out. There's a lot of things with that. I mean, I know that's a big number, but there's a whole lot of things that does.
I wonder, I'd have to ask Mindy, but you know, we have that gaggle. Do you get gaggle alerts? You don't get 'em? I wonder if they have something like that built into their, because they screen everything on the Chromebooks and will send alert. Like I got one a while ago, and all it said was, "I kill you," and it was a really good kid. And when I questioned her about it, she was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And I said, "Does somebody else had your Chromebook?" "Oh yeah, so and so got on there." "Oh, okay." She literally had no idea, and I knew she wasn't trying to say she's going to kill herself or somebody was going to kill her.
Right.
But, so
Yeah.
we've got that already, but I just wonder if there's something else that they offer.
They may have an app or something that kids can use on their phone. I like that it's an app and that, I mean, every kid that has a phone has apps and knows how to use apps.
And it's, kids have, they've, gotten on, or connected their computer to their phone and it's pulled some pictures and we get alerted.
Oh, that's cool.
Anything like if it mentions, rape, violence, suicide, health. There's key words that one kid was answering some questions to a legit assignment and they put murder or something and it flagged it, sent it to us. So, and it'll send screenshots or the actual file of whatever the kid's done or said. So.
Well, that's cool, glad we got that, that's really cool.
That'd be worth looking into, because it wouldn't be any
Yeah.
more cost.
Yeah,
and
I know,
maybe
we were
probably-
paying for it, I
all
mean,
about it.
It might, I'm sure it would be an extra cost, but they already, and if it's something really, like if it's, that it looks like a suicide or something really urgent, they'll call. They call Jason first, me, Jayla. And they're not just sending an email, they're calling, and they call Mindy, they call everybody on that list. Because this will take care of it. And then now you have to click resolve, like you were talking about, or threat assessed. So that, I'm gonna ask Mindy if
what's it called, Gaggle?
gaggle.
That sounds cool. I may just, we could check, so we're gonna try to check on Gaggle, see what they have. I may just tell them, look, if you end up getting money and there's money available, then we'll revisit it. But for now, I don't know that it's something we wanna get into, because.
There's gotta be plenty of other things that offer stuff like this.
Right, and that's honestly why I was wanting to go next week, because they're gonna have several different representatives from several different computer.
That'll be a good place to get more information.
Yeah,
And it's good that you've already researched this so much, so you kind of know the different things that they help with, and you can ask questions,
right. I can compare,
compare them.
yeah. Basically what I feel like we're doing, paying for the program, but then the hours tip management is what is alluring to me, like you said. We could find a program to do those things. We may have Gaggle that could do those things.
Oh, it'll do it anytime.
Yeah.
It'll send us those alerts, weekends.
Is there any way for Gaggle to make it available for kids to send in stuff?
I don't know. I'll ask Mindy.
Or that would be huge if they would.
Because they had a program, I have to do, so stupid. Last year, this year, I can't. I have to do a police officer interaction training with them, so they know, not to be grabbing for stuff when they get pulled over, keep their hands visible. That's became a thing a couple of years ago. And, they had something for that, a training, but I just use the YouTube that I got from the SRO at North Lamar. That's okay by TPA. And it was something that costs, and I was like, we don't need that, I already have the YouTube. And it was a more in-depth training that I go through, but it wasn't worth that, so they've got to have something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll
But
just.
they monitor it 24/7, because I've got stuff on weekends and after hours, so it's not just during school hours. They monitor that, so. they might
And
have
that's
something.
like anything that goes on there, that their email or a document they're typing up or anything, like you said, their homework, whatever, and if
It's
they're,
anything on their Chromebook. We've gotten, we had one a couple of years ago, she was talking to she was a freshman, talking to a guy in jail, older guy, about what they were gonna do when he got off parole. It was awful. And you see their whole conversation back and forth, and you can, it's just.
and I guess a lot of things they do on their phones, so it wouldn't pick that up, but if
Yeah.
they, but
We
if
get
they're emailing,
Yeah.
then it would,
Yeah,
anyhow.
and like I said, it's even if it pulls an inappropriate picture off their phone, it'll flag it.
Oh, if they plug their phone up to the Chromebook,
Yeah,
I didn't know
if
they
it
could even do
syncs
that.
with their
Oh.
school account, and there's something inappropriate there, it'll flag it.
Does it go with their text too? Would it pull over their text?
No, but a lot of kids, they can't use their phones in class, so they'll use their Chromebook and they'll email each other back and forth, because it looks like they're working. They're not.
Well, no, that helps us.
And then they're not on their phone.
I haven't emailed it to somebody in a long time.
Okay.
Or
Trying to
especially
change
if
the
the kid's got their phone taken up, or it's
Uh-huh.
been taken by parent or whatever. That's
Don't
the only-
tell them all of our secrets now.
They're good kids.
I know, that's why they're like, I don't even know anybody.
Well, at least Penwell was on, but she said, I haven't in a long time.
And even, we had one that a coach was telling a kid, it sounds like you're being harassed, and it flagged it. And that's from the coach. So emailing the girl. So, maybe the kid.
Well, that's good. So definitely need to make the online bullying form more accessible, or at least advertise it. We can do that at the beginning of the year. That's an easy fix. We can, just add it to their list of things they've got to announce. So we definitely need to do that, and then maybe get the beta kids involved in advertising the crisis line and the online bullying form. We could do that.
And Brittany Ladd just sent us out a week or two, maybe it was last week. I've sent several kids, I've had to take kids up to MHMR before in town, but they will, if you, North Lamar had a kid, and I don't know what age, but they had a kid that was suicidal, and they came over to the school and met with the kid and the parents like right then. And I didn't know they had that service. Because we had a kid not too long ago that I had to get Jason because he was threatening her to walk out. And he told the teacher he wanted to drive himself into an oncoming car. So I got with him and was like, I gotta tell your mom, blah, blah, blah. And he said, I'll just leave. So I was like, I'll get hostile there. So that's a service that's in town that they could be seen immediately. And like I said, I've had to drive a kid up there because the grandparents were refusing to help her. And she was having suicidal thoughts, so with Travis Rhodes escorting, I took her up there. And they did an immediate evaluation on her, decided she wasn't an immediate threat to herself, so that's something that's available. That I didn't know they would come out and do that, so that's good.
And who was that?
MHMR, right, just down from the courthouse.
Okay. Sounds like all good ideas. Do we want, I know we've had our 4 meetings, and don't give me ugly looks, but do we want to have another meeting before the school gets out? No? Okay. That was a no. It's gonna be too
It's
hard.
gonna get really busy.
Yeah, it already, yeah.
It already is getting really busy. Okay, so let's at least, we have school calendar. I had it. I'm gonna go ahead and schedule the first meeting for next year. Does anyone have anything else to add before we do that? Our chairman had to cancel last minute, so that's fine. I'm not trying to be in charge, I'm just trying to facilitate. The first day of school is August the 17th. I'm gonna try to do sometime in September, maybe. Give us a couple weeks to acclimate. Does Wednesday still work for everybody? Everybody's tired. What about like the 14th of September? On Wednesday. See, it's the month after school starts. I just like to have, me personally, would like to have the first meeting kind of early so that we're not trying to push them along and butt less. So let's do the 14th. We'll tentatively do the 14th, September 14th. And then, so we got some really good ideas about how next year to promote the bullying forum, maybe put it in a better, talk to Ms. Cole about putting it in a better, more accessible place. Maybe not under parent info, because then that kind of is a thing that's just for parents. Or something the kids can report to. And then promoting the free stuff. And then I'll do the research on the stuff that costs, and if we win anything that's free, maybe I could talk to, I'll probably just talk to y'all and get some input about maybe presenting it to try, depending on what it is. At least get more information next week, which I'm kind of looking forward to. It's supposed to be the speaker's someone from, that dealt with the Sandy Hook shooting. So, that's basically where it's going. I'm kind of excited to hear what they have to say. Okay. Any questions? Comments? Okay.
Wait. Next year, I've got some things for next year.
Okay.
We have to approve, or, well, assess our local wellness policy, and we have to have a local wellness plan to implement the policy. And, the Shac usually handles that, and we got it approved before COVID last time, and we're supposed to assess it. You can do it every year, but we do it every 3 years. And so this coming up year will be the next time we need to assess it. It has, you can go into the ARM on squarebills.org, Administrator's Reference Manual, and see you have certain elements, and we always do the minimum, because if you add anything in there and they come in and look and say, oh, well, you're not doing that, then you're in trouble, even though it wasn't required to be in your policy. So, but anyway, if anybody wants to change it, I can bring what we have and we can look over it. We kind of got together and did it just in my office to get one in place, because we had to have one. And so if any of you want to redo it and totally revamp it, and just, it wouldn't bother me a bit, but I will show you what we have. And then, you have to have it, what it addresses is health and wellness of students, their physical activities, and this also includes parents, community members, staff members, health for them. It's not just student health, it's going to be employee health. And nutrition, what you can and can't sell at certain times of the day. All the education requirements, the physical, the PE requirements, which are already in place by another agency anyway. I don't understand why we have to have it, but anyway, I'll have some of that whenever we decide to start, but this must be approved by the board. It must be approved by June 2023. So I thought if we got started on it, we can talk about it, and it takes a while, so we can have it done before the end. That's all. So, you see.
did that was, the week before COVID, well,
Yes,
the week before we got
yes,
out for
and-
spring
and
break.
I had it got it approved, got it done, and by the way, our lunchroom review was fantastic, we did a great job. So,
Oh, good.
yes, yes. Had a couple of little things, we bought a 10-pound box of cucumbers that weren't on the bid, it should have been 2 5-pound boxes.
Oh, my goodness.
But
There's
they were,
that.
yes, they were on the bid at the first of the year, but then you get a weekly thing saying whether it is or not, and it went away, and so we bought that big old box of cucumbers, it was probably cheaper, probably, so. So that's all, I just wanna be on, we want to put that on the list next year.
Perfect timing, I think we're done.
Okay.
So it's called local wellness.
Mm-hmm, yes, yes.
So do you need someone to take that on?
No, I mean, I don't mind, I'm just
Okay.
saying.
I was gonna say, I'm not volunteering, I'm just, while we've got a room full, we got
Just can't give me a